It was in California that you discovered or you found the book, right?
Yes, in 1963 or 64.
What was your initial impression of the book?
First I was mystified and thought it was some kind of joke, and then I realized that it wasn't a joke. And while I wasn't particularly searching for truth, the information that came through resonated with me. And I was fortunate in not having been too deeply steeped in any of the evolutionary religions. So my mind was relatively open, and I came to believe all that the Urantia Book says. And I've been reading it ever since.
What do you find most fascinating about the book? What is
most fascinating about the book
Yeah.
is its consistency. Or one of the things that's fascinating about the book is the consistency with which it reinforces and repeats itself on multiple levels.
I've heard you say once in the past that you think of the book as some kind of a map. This is a much more detailed.
Yeah, the analogy I've used, maybe you're thinking of, is if you were going to Portland, Oregon, and a friend of yours had said, "Here, let me tell you about it," and drawn you a little map on the back of an envelope showing where Burnside was, and the northwest, the northeast, southwest, southeast, and the freeway, and so that was your map of Portland. But then you got the, what's it called, the Thomas Street Guide, a page-by-page map book that is available in stores of pretty much every city in America anyway. And it gave you full information about all the parks and schools and universities and public transportation, as well as a complete detailed map of each street with the addresses and the... Obviously, that would be a much better guide for getting around Portland than that envelope that you scrawled a few things on. Well, so that's kind of like how I see the Urantia Book relative to anything else that I've ever seen in my life. It's more complete, more consistent, more valid than anything that I can imagine.
Now, all this, the history of this world, the confusion, the wars going on, something that you like to say that everything is going to be...
Everything's going to be, no matter what happens, everything's going to be okay.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that no matter what happens, it's pretty much a restatement of what we're told in the Urantia Book, or even in the Bible and in different places. No matter what happens, everything's going to be okay. The Urantia Book tells it more completely and more convincingly, with more backup. But no matter what happens, no matter how bad things may be on our planet, or how foolishly our leaders act, everything's going to be okay. The planet is progressing. It's better now than it's ever been. More people are more happy and have more stuff and are eating better. And in spite of all the problems on the planet, everything is getting better. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, that's what I get to from the book, is that eventually we'll come to the stage called light and life, where we have evolved enough to a certain point where wars will be no more. Diseases will be conquered. That's what you mean, right? By everything's going to be okay eventually. Is that what you mean?
Well, eventually, yeah. For the world and even for us as individuals, everything's going to be okay. We don't have to be afraid.
How has it affected you, the book?
How has the book affected? Well, it's absolutely the most influential thing in my life. It has been for decades. And it's convinced me that everything is going to be okay. We don't have to be afraid.
That it?
That's it. That's it.
Thanks, Dennis.